your kids if they exhibit hood or ghetto behavior. And there was a lot of people that got online upset with her for that. There was a lot of people that defended her too, though. Just what's y'all thoughts on what she said and just this whole idea of the hood mentality?
I agree. Because you would have came to my house and you wasn't polite, sir, I would have turned your ass around. That's simple. Like if I can see that you going to penitentiary, nah, nigga, you can't play with my peoples. Like, that's simple. I seen greatness in you, sir. So you can play. But if I seen you going to jail, nigga, and you was not listening, no, nigga, no. Like, I do that with my daughter now. Like, nah, like certain people, if I see, this is what makes it hard. What happens if it's family? That's what makes it hard. Like friends, yeah, you control friends all day. But what happens when it's family? What happens when you got to go to the cookout and you know that your cousins, you know what I'm saying? That's your cousin. They you know what I'm saying?
You got two choices: not to go to them family functions, or two, more likely, just explain to your kids, hey, we're gonna be around your cousins and stuff, and they might say stuff and do stuff. That don't mean you're allowed to say and do it either, because that's not what we accept in our household. For the most part, I didn't have a big issue with what she said. I will say this. I don't want to say the kids shouldn't be friends with each other. I don't want to go that far. Because
friends and associates, two different things. We can associate. We can say hi and bye.
Yeah, but I don't even want to say they can't be friends just because you might come from a ghetto or a hood household and you might exhibit some of that behavior, but who's to say when you come to my house to play, because I'm still a parent at the end of the day, I'm still an adult, you're still a child, then my child could rub off on you, my household could rub off on you. Because I've just seen stories like that where people come from impoverished backgrounds or bad backgrounds, and then they'd be like, yo, I went to my homeboy house or my homegirl house. My bad.
This is what I mean. Okay. The money is not the situation. The money isn't hood or ghetto. Like you could be from the bottoms, the worst spot of the worst. But if you present yourself in such a way that you good. It's not like I'm not looking at it.
So I apologize. Maybe I was making it seem about money. And I'm saying even if the child is acting ghetto and hood, depending on how old the child is, they could be a product of their environment. And who's to say if they come to my house and they see a different way of living, a different lifestyle, they might go back home and realize this is not okay. We're not supposed to do this.
Or they could go back home and keep being the same person they are. I wouldn't mind having my kids be on both sides of the tracks and be able to experience life from both sides. Not saying I want them to live a lifestyle that's dangerous or detrimental to them, but I think that if you let's say I raise my children,
it would give them appreciation.
That when you watch Proud Family, I'm a cartoon kid. When I watched Proud Family, we all knew that Dejanay was on the other side of them tracks.
Yeah.
Dejanay was a little rough cut. She was not primper. She wasn't.
But she was still allowed to be friends with Penny.
Right. And Penny's family, they would make little jokes. It's no different than when Fresh Prince came to the big house and then Jazz was coming over and it's like, oh, okay, Jazz. It's a lot of there's a lot of narratives where that could be the case. But I think that the biggest thing is your child, even when I used to watch Boy Meets World. It was the same way. Like, you got this kid that's a little rough around the edges. You got Sean,
and then you got Corey, who come from a good household. But guess what? When you watch that series, Sean was the best friend Corey could ever ask for. Correct. So it's like, just because you have a hood mentality or ghetto mentality, don't mean you're not a good person.
No, okay.
Because if you're friends with someone, I just want to say this. If you're truly friends with someone, and I feel like this about my intimate friend group.
Yeah.
Most of us have rubbed off with each other over the years.
Mm-hmm.
There's things that I see in Drea that I didn't see when we first started becoming friends, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. There's things in MGH that I see now because we've been friends for 20 years that I rubbed off on him and vice versa on me. So when you're really friends like that, hopefully the positives of each other will rub off.
We got to use different terminology because I try to explain this to some people about a month ago. We got to use different terminology. Because just because you live in the hood doesn't mean it's bad. Oh, because it's like
I don't mean hood. I mean behavior. I mean
Yeah,
character.
that's what I mean.
traits.
I mean,
never
heritage.
said
I mean,
hood.
specific, 'cause
I mean
it's
behavior
like-
too.
I never met hood. One of the most ratchetest people I knew lived in our exact same neighborhood where we grew up at.
we gotta figure it out because we got.
I'm talking about behavior.
Ratchet was
I'm
just
talking
their
about behavior.
behavior.
Yeah,
I'm
behavior
talking
as
about
a what?
Your
If
lifestyle,
you're
the things
stealing,
you say and do, maybe.
if you're stealing, that's not good. Like if I
That's
know
not
the
no
kid is
ratchet.
stealing,
That's a criminal.
Yeah.
but that's ratchet.
That's
That's considered.
just
That falls in the ratchet sometimes. You see, we gotta be more. We gotta be
It
more
can
specific.
fall into ratchet, but you want to know something crazy?
hood.
It's a lot of preppy white girls that go to the mall
And they steal
and they steal
ratchet
Victoria's
too. Like
Secrets.
Boosie said, we all got a little ratchet in us.
Yeah, so we gotta figure it out.
We can't just put all the negative qualities on the hood.
No.
Because the hood teaches you how to survive. Because, like you say, like going to the hood made me realize how good I had it. It wasn't until I went to the hood and I went to the project that I seen people living worse than I was living. I was like, God damn, I thought I was living bad. Y'all got it bad. And what I used to say when I came home, what I used to do. And my mom, the floor wasn't the best in condition. I used to kiss the motherfucking ground, bro. Like, I'm glad I made it. Like I done seen some shit. They ain't got no doors, no windows, no heat, no running water. You see what I'm saying? Type shit.
Yeah, but I don't think about people being ratchet just because of what they got or what they don't got. Me, ratchet is strictly your attitude, your behavior, your.
Everybody got a
Tupac was
little.
rich. That nigga's ratchet. He said, I'm ratchet. I'm thugging. I'm out here doing what I do, and I can make this money, but I'm not gonna take the hood out of me. I'm gonna be who I'm gonna be.
Right.
I feel like that's a level of ratchet where I want my kids to be around kids that's a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, you need. That's a survival sense.
So they got some squabble in
That's
them.
why I'm like, how we really gonna break this down? Because it's like,
Well, I'm just saying based off her words. I'm not talking about where you live. I'm not talking about a place. I'm talking about a mentality, a behavior.
because some people taking it different.
And all I'm saying is, just because you come from a household where you cuss a lot and certain things is deemed okay, if I allow you to be friends with this person and you see that there's a different way of living, like in my friend group, and I've said this before, it wasn't until I met my friend group in high school where I realized, especially, because the only people that I knew really that had dads in the house was white people and Boy Scouts. It wasn't until I met my friend group and I looked around outside of Nicole, but all the men in the friend group, I was like, oh, you supposed to have a dad in the house. And this may sound silly, it never even occurred to me that you were supposed to have a dad in the house until I got in my friend group.
No, see, that's what I'm saying. That we're going. That doesn't define nobody. So sometimes your father's not there.
But I'm just saying, but there's some behaviors that I had when I was younger that me being around your brother MGH, over the years, certain things I just don't do no more. Because it was cool to do when I hung with my friends in Butler Manor and I grew up how I grew up. But then I realized, oh, no, you probably shouldn't do this all the time. And nah, this ain't cool. And being around a person like that, it's like, okay, cool. That has kind of helped mold me or whatever. Being around your parents, for example, and seeing how your parents conduct business and how they talk and operate. Like in our household, cussing all the time. Mm-hmm. I've been around your mom so many times, I don't even know if your mom know how to cuss, to be honest. Mm-hmm.
She doesn't cuss, but I don't know either.
Yes, but that's my point. Like, cussing was just so normal in my household. Like, shoot, being called motherfucking nigga was just the same as being called my name.
But the funny thing about it is, it's funny because it's like, I don't know.
That's habit.
No, but the thing is, like,
lifestyle.
We had pops and we had mom.
Yeah.
And they, you gonna understand, completely opposites. But so the same thing you was going through, we was going through here too.
Yeah. But the fact that I even got to see that balance was good for me. Like the fact that I got to see your pops,
right?
And I got to see that balance in your pops. He reminded me of my family. Right. But then I saw your moms, and I was like, oh, this ain't nobody in my family like this.
Yeah.
The closest person like your mom's in my family is my grandma on my dad's side.
Yeah.
And she lived in Alabama, and I see her maybe once a year when she was alive. So it's like that's why I agree with her. We can't glorify certain mentalities and behaviors, but I don't want to get the kids involved and say my kids can't hang with your kids, because me and my kids can be a good influence on your kids, as well as your kids might make my kids appreciate the life they have.
Right. It's
and there's certain things that my kids might need to have. Like there's certain things in my friend group. I got some male friends that I say this respectfully might be a little too passive, might be too afraid of confrontation. But being around me, they've learned sometimes you got to embrace confrontation.
Yeah.
So you don't want to raise kids that's afraid to deal with confrontation in life. So having a little, hoodlum friend or a ratchet friend or whatever who's not afraid to speak their mind when they feel wrong might benefit your kid, because when they go off to college or they go off to the workforce and they have to have times where they have to speak up for themselves, they might think about their friend they grew up with, like, you know what, I need to speak up for myself, but I need to do it my way. I don't need to cuss and yell, but I do need to let people know, yo, this is not okay.
Real talk. And man, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like, and I take it back to the gentleman I talked to earlier that was thinking about suicide, and it was just like, it's hard sometimes to find that balance. You got to find people that is okay to talk to. Counseling and therapy is not a bad thing. Mental health is real. Depression is real. There's been times I could be, I got everything in the world. I'm happy. And then I'm riding down the street and it's like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Boom. I need to call my therapist. Like, I need to talk about this because I got too much on my mind right now. It's just, and then what we're talking about is like, your definition of ratchet or hood might not be the same definition to me as hood and ratchet. You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with that. It could be.
And it's like, it's wild the way the world is. The world is a wild place. It's wild out here, man. And it's just experiencing different stuff and learning new things is beneficial to everybody. Like RIP, one of my favorite teachers. She said she was one of the toughest teachers I ever had, but she explained this to me. Try to learn something new every day. You can learn from anybody. You can learn from the crackhead on the street. You can learn from the genius in the Ivy League school. You can learn from anybody. It's just brought people sometimes broaden your horizon. It's just
Rose, what's your thoughts?
I felt what she was saying. I ain't had no problem with what she said. I agree with her. Because she wasn't talking about like teenage. I didn't feel like she was talking about teenage kids. I think she was talking about like elementary school kids where you can actually control.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Who their friends are. Like once you get into a middle school and high school, you can't control who your kids' friends are. But I felt like she was talking about elementary school kids, and so you could control who your friends are, who your kids' friends are to a certain extent. So that's how I felt that she was talking about, and it wasn't nothing. Y'all already got through the part that it wasn't nothing to do with money or nothing like that. It was just the behaviors that she didn't want her kids around people that acted a certain way, and ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? You should want the best, and you should want your kids not to be around certain things that you don't believe in. So I ain't had no issues with what she said, and I feel the same way because some of that stuff, man, is tiring. It's demoralizing just to see it and to hear it, and you got the right to say what's going on in your own household, especially when your kids are at that age where you can have that control over them.
Well,